Hey guys, Kirk here from Acid Bite, and we're finally back with a new transition pack. And we were able to get our hands on more 35mm film. We painted it, destroyed it, scratched it, you name it, and the result is a pack full of possibilities for awesome transitions. So let's get into it. So, once you've downloaded the pack and imported it into Premiere, you're going to find this folder structure here, which has all your assets. So first, let's get started with the alpha transitions. So all of these alpha assets are already pre-keyed for you. So these black holes here on the screen, we keyed them out. If you drag that into your timeline, as you can see, you'll see your footage through the asset. So it's super simple to use. And each of these assets comes with a unique sound design. So after that, we've got the overlays. So in this folder, you actually have the real markers. Like I said before, we damaged the film in a bunch of interesting ways. So basically the possibilities are endless for you to use these to create unique transitions. And of course, we also have some still assets here, similar to what we had in our punch hole pack. So we have a bunch of new punch holes here for people who love those as much as we do. So of course you can get really creative with these. And now let me show you first the basic way that we use these assets, which is kind of as a glue between shots. So I'm going to show you an example now of what I mean about the basic way. We've already got these two shots here on our timeline. And there's already a little bit of a speed ramp going on here. But let's see what happens if we add any of our overlays. And yeah, this one's always good. This one's really cool with the little flash at the end. So we're just going to make our selection here and drag it straight down on the timeline between the two clips, okay? Like that. And I'm going to trim off the black part at the end here. Okay, so let's take a look and see what happens now. So yeah, that's the quick and dirty way, right? It still looks good, it's cool, but of course there's much more complex possibilities here. So using the same footage, why don't we see what we can do with one of our alpha transitions? So let's see what happens now. Nice, it's good. But another way that you can add layers of complexity to these transitions is to use blending modes with these overlays. My personal favorite blending modes are screen, difference, and sometimes multiply. Of course, you can use any blend mode you want, but I usually find that those have the most interesting effect. So let's look at an example of using these blending modes. On the timeline, I've already got a little bit of an edit here, right? We've got a couple of these fast cuts that are working pretty well. So let's go into our overlays and try to look for something that's going to fit into this. Okay. Yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot. And this one is also good. They're all good, guys. Okay, so let's just settle on that one for now for our demo and drag it in here. And let's take a look at how it reacts to changing the blending mode. This time I'm gonna go with screen. So let's see what happens this time. Yeah, nice. I think that's looking pretty good already. It's good, but the asset is ending a little bit, too early for the edit. So let's go and find a different one to help us transition into that final cut. So okay, yeah, this is pretty nice, these cuts that we made in the film. So let's grab that and drop it over top of these last few cuts in our timeline and see what happens when we change it to screen. And, actually I think we need something that's a little bit brighter. I want something that's actually gonna completely cover the frame for like 1 or 2 frames at the moment of the cut. So let's go back and take another look through our assets. Maybe this one. Yeah, maybe this one can do it. So yeah, remember to set it to screen again. And okay, let's watch from the beginning. So yeah, I think this is definitely working much better. But I also want to try using a different asset so we can see some other effects that you can do in this pack. If we grab this white window here and we use the blending mode difference, you're going to get something really interesting. Because what's going to happen is in the white areas, it'll invert the colors of the image below, and the black areas will essentially become transparent. So the next blend mode that I like to use, because it works really well with bright areas of an image, which most of our assets have, is multiply. So for example, yeah, let's use this one because it's got a ton of super bright contrasty points in the image. So I'm gonna grab that and I'm gonna drop it right over all these cuts in our timeline, change to multiply, and now you'll see you can only see through the bright parts of the image. And again, that's because this is such a high contrast asset, so it's creating this little window-like effect on your footage. So you can probably start to see, guys, that there's, there really are infinite ways that you can use these assets. But on top of this, there's another method that I'm going to show you now for how to get even more diversity out of these assets. So most of these assets can be used really effectively, as the name suggests, as markers, or essentially little flashy, sort of distracting elements that draw your eye and help smooth out the transition between cuts. So yeah, let's have a look here. There. I'm just using these little X elements just for a few frames each, and it sort of draws your eye to the center of the frame and distracts from the cut. So that's another relatively simple application. I just used the blending mode screen. But again, it's just creating diversity within your footage and making their transitions more unique. We're super excited to see the kind of things that you guys come up with. It's been a really fun journey for us watching everything that you guys create. We're super grateful to you. Please give us a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.